4:30 in the morning and we're going to watch the sunrise at Ayers Rock. Absolutely knackered after a long day yesterday. Hi guys, I hope you're all well. As you've gathered from the bit of an introduction that I've just given, we are starting the day off very early indeed, 4:30 in the morning, still very much asleep. Today is our second and final full day at the Uluru-Ayers Rock compound, so we're going to try our best and cram in as much as possible throughout the day. And due to it being a very early start, that means we're going to be seeing the sunrise at Uluru. Now, as you saw from yesterday's video, we didn't quite get the picture perfect sunset due to the rain clouds and very much overcast situation we faced for pretty much most of the evening. So here's hoping for a much better start to the day, but as you can see, there are still quite a few clouds in the sky, so we're hoping that won't deter from this majestic sight. After standing around for about 30 to 60 minutes, watching the sunrise ever so slowly above the horizon and eventually starting to break its way through the cloud cover, you got a fantastic picturesque, picture perfect photograph moment. And of course, when the sunlight eventually does hit the side of Uluru, you got the rusty red colours coming off the rock. It makes for a very monumental moment. After we had taken literally hundreds of photographs, it was time to start walking back towards the coach, which was going to take us towards our next stop within the local area to another Aboriginal sacred rock formation, which was the Kata rock formation. In particular, we were stopping in the Valley of the Winds. And once we had arrived, we then had a bit of a walk towards it, or in my case it felt more like a hike, because it was very much uneven under the foot and it was somewhat of an incline as well. I was taking this walk very steadily, making sure I wasn't going to trip up and hurt myself, but also it was a bit of a workout. It was really getting the lungs working, especially when you're someone like me who's carrying a lot of excess weight, which we all know I'm working on losing pretty successfully at this moment in time, if I do say so myself. And as soon as you started that incline walk towards the Valley of the Winds, boy oh boy does it live up to the name, and you can just hear the wind that is blowing through this valley. And the one positive of all this, yes, we've got the wind, yes, we may have the cloud cover, but today there is no rain, so that is a bonus. Once we'd reached the top of the valley, I'm going to hold my hands up, I honestly had felt like I'd done enough exercise for the day. I was exhausted just from that bit of a walk, and my mum was also not wanting to do any much more because her knees were also starting to hurt a little bit today. So there was thankfully a bench or seating area, well, just a single standalone bench, which was just before you made your way into the valley section of the rock formation. So we decided just to sit down and just take in the whole scenery while being battered by the strong gusty winds. So we didn't decide to walk through the entire valley, we just decided to have this moment to ourselves, and then we started to slowly make our way back down towards the car park. But this is when I was very pleased that I remembered to bring my fly net with me to cover my face, because whilst we were up at the top near the entrance to the Valley of the Winds, it was so gusty, so windy that there were zero flies about. But when you walk back down towards the grasslands, the vegetation area, the flies do come out to play and they are a nuisance. So once we got back to the coach, we then had a 20-minute journey to a second viewing area of the sacred rock formation Kata, but this time in a completely different perspective. So this second viewing area was the Kata Dunes viewing area. So my mum decided to stay on the coach because her knees were still hurting from the bit of a hike we've just come from. So I walked up to this viewing platform by myself, and as you can see, we've got a whole new different perspective of this sacred rock formation. Again, a very, very picturesque moment. And after taking another 100 or so photographs, it was then time to start walking back down towards the coach, where it took us back to our hotel complex. After getting back to our hotel after a long day of exploring the local area, we did a bit more exploring of the hotel, particularly around the pool area, but we decided to leave our hotel complex and have a walk around to the local shopping centre, where we had a nice warm drink in the cafe and then just did a good old bit of window shopping. But as you've come to guess, we're all going to make our way around to the local supermarket and we're going to buy some very unhealthy snacks. What can I say? We're still on holiday, so we're going to get a nice packet of biscuits or cookies. We're going to get a couple of sandwiches and a large packet of crisp or potato chips, so we can go back to our hotel room and start munching away. So this is pretty much the end of our second and final full day at the Ayers Rock hotel compound. So that's where I'm going to finish this video, but you've come to expect that I am going to be showing you some memories of the past 24 hours in the form of the photographs which I've taken. So as you're continuing to look through those photographs, this is where I'm going to wrap things up. So as always, if you'd like to continue following us along our holiday adventure, by all means hit that subscribe button. I wouldn't want you to miss out on any more of the videos that I'm posting. So as you've also come to expect, I have been releasing these videos on a daily basis. So therefore, I hope to see you all again tomorrow.